So yesterday we put in the first 9 pieces, and I worked myself back into this corner right here because we need to start where the drain was. And so we've got that done. I had a couple of the little black pieces right here, the little bitty ones. I didn't get lined up just right, so I went ahead and cut them out. We're going to reset them and try to get them better, because you only have one chance to do it, so I guess we'll go ahead and get it done right the first time. Anyway, or before you try grouting. And so I've laid out our next section. There's 9 pieces that go, or excuse me, there's 6 more pieces that go in. I've got them labeled, which direction they go, so you don't get confused. And so I've already laid them in there and realized I was a little bit long on the end, so we cut a little off. And because sometimes, just because you measure it, when you put it in, it's got slopes to it, and it just changes things. So I can't believe that we're bigger. You know, our tower we're bigger, but that's sometimes the way it is. So we had to cut a little off. But right now we're going to go ahead and lay these out and get them put in there. This is going to be a lot easier now because the slope is not as great over here as it is over here at the drain. And so I'm going to go ahead and get our mud. We've already got a nice texture of mud here. And we're going to slap that on there. Go ahead and get started with this. I like to go ahead and take my trowel and get it in the corners like this. Just like that. And you want to move along quickly with this. You don't want to be playing around with this too much. The longer the time that this is, once you've done your little V-notch here, the 1/4 by 3/16, air hits it and starts drying it immediately. So you want to really stay on top of that, and don't waste much time getting your tiles set after you've got your mud down. So that is the plan, and that's what we're working on right this moment. And you notice right here, in these little spots right there, I've got a little chisel here I'm just going to use to kind of mud a little right in those spots right there when I get this spread out pretty good. Main thing is you want to make a good bond to the existing concrete with this. It makes your troweling a little easier, I think. Anyway, that's the way I do it. You can do it any way you like. After you've been doing it a while, you kind of figure out the little tricks and stuff that work for you. Doesn't have to be what works for somebody else, but whatever it is, it works for you. That's what counts. Having the right thickness in here to start with really helps. And try not to get your mud into your existing pieces right along this edge. And when you get close, because you want good bonding contact, but you don't want to have too much there. It just means you're going to have to do some serious clean out later. It's not hard to do if you get it within the first let it set up for about 10 hours, then you can scratch it out without tearing up your moving, taking a chance on moving your stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this excess right here. I really do like these little stainless steel pans for doing this kind of work. Just makes it easy to handle your stuff here, you know. I definitely put in a little bit more, but that's okay. That's what we want. I'd rather have too much in there than not enough. Okay, that's a little bit too much right there. there. We want to make sure we get that off. Okay. Make sure you want to take a look at it. Make sure you've got a good coverage. A little bit more right there. You want good bonding everywhere. Alright, then I go back across this edge right there and knock off just that little excess so I don't have to clean it later. It's pretty simple just to knock it off right now, but later it's not as easy to clean off of here. Okay, and then remember I told you we've got to still put a little mud in these little corners right there. And have just enough to make it push down onto it. Not a lot that it fills up the edges too much. It might be a little bit of work, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully if you've done your preparations and stuff, the next part will go fairly easy and you won't have to fight it too much. Okay, looks pretty good, pretty happy. Get the rest of this off of here real quick. We'll hang it on that bucket right there, move it out of the way. I need that right over here. So if I need it, I got it. Okay, I've labeled these pieces right here. I put W1, so that means the wall's that direction. And this piece is going to go in there just like that. Go ahead and try to get your spacing just right now. Because good spacing right there. Good spacing, I like that. Okay, now let's go with number 2. Just like that. Again, you're working your spacing on the sides. See right there? Work that side spacing. And the spacing right here where this one meets up. If you can get it straight now, you get less to worry about. And I already got it pretty smooth. Alright, now we're on to number 3. And remember, I did test these before I got it pretty tight, but that's the way I like it. I like it kind of tight. Alright, there we go. Looking good, looking good. Nice and smooth. Okay. Number 4. Right here in this corner. Just like that. That corner down. Get your spacing right. Straight. Okay. That looks pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, I'm liking the feel. Alright. See, I'm not wasting much time because you don't have a lot of time here to fool around with your grout. Well, excuse me, your thin set. Because the air hits it and it starts drying, it starts getting dry on that top peak faster than you want. So you don't want to mess around with that. Alright, look at there. Huh? That looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull these tape marks off right now, real quickly. Don't need it on there, but I don't want it to interfere with my next little step here that I'm going to show you. I think spacing looks really good so far. Okay, so get those off of there. And now we're going to just take this piece right here, a nice hard rubber type piece, and it's got a nice slick little edge on it. And then you can, you see it right there? We just flipped that piece right on over. I'm going to get another piece right here. What that means is it was sticking up a little bit, which I don't like. careful with that. Stick that piece right back in the sponge. Our little sponge here. Okay. Alright, where did I put that piece? Right there, I think it was. Alright, main thing is to get that piece right back in where it's supposed to be. That looks darn good. Okay, we'll go a little easier on that. I flipped that over myself. I did that one. I'm taking all the blame. Clean these edges. And as you're doing this, you're giving this some pressure, so you're really making it stick to your thin set. As you're doing this, so look at your gaps. Everywhere you can look, make sure you're happy with those gaps. That's the key. You want to be happy. Another thing too, when I floated this floor in, I made sure I got those elevations on these edges level. That way when we go to put our tile on, we've got something level to start from. Now you're going to double check and check again before you start laying your tiles, because you don't want to start a row and then all of a sudden you realize this row is 1/8 of an inch higher than this row. And that's, once you've already set them, it's kind of hard to take it back off again. So you don't want to have to do that either. So there's ways to do that where you realize you've got it right, or uh-oh, we got a problem, you know. And that thing too, you're looking right here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but see right there on this little edge right there, you got a little bit more concrete than we needed. So I'm going to kind of rub some of that out of there since it's wet. All right. Just makes it, it'll make it a little easier to clean later. All right, so I think we look pretty good. I'm not seeing anything here that looks, I'm going to go right down each one of these rows right here and take a look. Make sure I'm happy with that. It's a little bit loose right there. I got a little spot here I can use a little bit of gap in. Not much, but just a little bit. I can get it. I think that's better than it was. Okay. Right there, looks like it can go just a hair. Yeah, not too much. Pushed it. See how I pushed it way over here? So I'm gonna have to put that one down and then put another one right here. Get these gaps equally spaced on this mosaic, not always the easiest job, because even from the factory you'll get some of them that they got a twist to them, or the little dot's not quite centered. I mean, look here, there's one right there, a good example. See it right there? That's two little wedges out of alignment. Right there, I just pushed it over enough that now I'm happy with it. So you just got to be careful when you do that. You can also be pushing that thing down too, so you want to be very, very picky with your how much effort. Now I'm running my hands over this so I can feel if there's any high spots. Now I took a lot of time when I did the bed in here, and I sanded it down with a sanding block and made sure I knocked all the high spots there on. But you can have your thin set higher in one quarter than the other quarter, and they don't lay down at the same elevation. So that's why I say when you go to push it down, you want to push them down evenly in case one of them is a little higher than the other, that they go down together. And just makes it a lot easier at the end. And again, I'm still looking down these lines right here to try to make sure I got equal spacing, and I'm happy with it, because now is the time to fix it if you need to. So far, not bad, not bad. Not bad right there. So the mosaics are a little bit more hectic to work with, because you may not see it now, but later you're going, oh, how did I miss that? You know, it just happens. That's just part of it, I guess. But they do look great when they're done, and done well is a good thing. And let me show you something here. You're wondering, that looks like it's awful flat, but if you take, now this thing here is, see, we're from this corner to this corner, we're level, see it? Okay, but you got a gap underneath it right here. So that means it's dipping down. Not a lot down over here. Over here, if I put the level here, I've got about a 1/2 inch. So from there, this thing is 5 feet wide, so I have a 1/2 inch drop from that end to this end. So we have plenty of drop, and then over here, it's way high. So you're gonna get good drainage. So that way your water